not have the information. We don't really know what it is. And if some people have information on it and others don't, then where along the line, the informational line, are we out of the loop?
I'm going to use my best judgment here. I am going to respectfully disagree with the gentleman, sir, about appealing that motion. I'm going to make a decision that we move forward with the motion to table this until the next meeting. That was made from the con mic.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a parliamentary inquiry? Would it be in order?
County.
Chris Wigg from Lane County, chair of the Democratic Bastion, that is. And I would like to ask, would it be in order for the maker of that motion that has caused so much consternation to withdraw their motion, and then the next person from the con side could speak? Is that in order?
And the motion that you're talking about is the motion to table, is that correct?
The motion to table. If that member was to withdraw the motion,
May we hear from the maker of the motion, please?
Yes, I would be happy to withdraw my motion if that was lost to move forward.
Is there any objection from the assembly to allow that motion to table to be removed? Okay. And now we'll hear from the con side.
I want to make a motion to postpone until the next meeting.
Second.
Name and county, please.
Donna Nyberg, Columbia County.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Carolyn Franca, Polk County.
So, in regards to the motion to postpone this issue to the next meeting, to vote in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Discussion.
Oh, sorry, my bad. And this is open to debate.
People who want to speak against tabling need to be at that point, because the debate has now changed.
Yeah, you guys all need to move over there.
They have to meet this right. We're trying to manage this. We're doing our best. Against tabling need to be at that point.
Okay, the maker of the motion to table this until the next meeting has the opportunity to speak first on this if they would like to. On this side, we have pro in favor of this motion to table until the next meeting, and on this side, we have a microphone for those that wish to speak against.
Mr. Chair, you're saying Donna Nyberg has an opportunity to speak to her motion now if she wishes to come to this microphone.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out where she is.
She said no.
Okay, then it's my turn.
Sorry, where is Donna? I'm trying to find her. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you'd like to, you have
I
a...
think my position is clear.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, a lot of people don't know what's going on, and that's valid. I supported Casey for chair, and I have served on the Stonewall Caucus with Casey. We've worked on anti-bullying legislation. The reason why I'm against tabling this right now, and the reason why I'm supporting the censure, which is just a statement saying we don't want to see this kind of behavior again, is that it isn't okay for somebody in a leadership position, like the chair of the DPO, to call one member out by name because they bring up opposition. Whether or not you disagree with Larry, I've called Larry on issues that I don't agree with him on, and I've worked with him on issues that I do agree with him on. That's business. We serve together here in the SEC as fellows that are working to pass resolutions, etc., and we're doing business together. I'm not going to personally call somebody out by name because I want to stifle the debate and make it seem like that person is causing some kind of a crusade to happen. He has the right to ask questions. He has the right to send out letters, etc., etc. That is the reason why I believe that we should just be done with it and say, hey, you know what? Okay, slap on the wrist. We don't want to see this kind of behavior again. This isn't becoming conduct for our chair. Gene Atkins didn't do it. We don't want to see it anymore. It's not the way that we need to head into 2020. We need to head into 2020 united. We're on the same team, and we need to act with professionalism and conduct ourselves in an appropriate manner. If we table this right now, it's just going to get pushed to another meeting that's going to be contentious. We've dealt with the contention. Let's vote on this and say, hey, we don't want to be like this. This isn't the way we want to conduct ourselves. That's why the Stonewall Caucus, where we worked together, worked on anti-bullying legislation to ask our legislators to vote against bullying. We don't want to bully people and call them out by name. If you disagree with Larry, come up and speak against him. That is to the motion. I am against tabling because I think that we need to deal with this now.
I second your motion.
I would respect.
Point of order. I would ask, I'm sorry, Donna Nyberg, Columbia County. And this is a point of order. I would respectfully ask the people that are discussing the tabling or the postponing of this motion to speak to the postponing of this motion and not the original.
I was about to mention that as well, thank you. And please, it's any discussion to tabling or not to the matter of the motion regarding censure. And also, please address me, not anyone else, as chair.
Mr. Chair, my name is Michael Smith from Multnomah County. I am speaking in favor of tabling this, not because I disagree with the original motion one bit. I agree with Annie in everything that she said about the motion itself. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people don't know what's been going on here. I think both sides need to take more time to educate the rest of this body about what happened, and then we need to talk about this at the next meeting. We have a lot that's going on right now, and what we're talking about is very serious, and I believe it needs due deliberation, and we need to take more time to think about how we react to this. Thank you.
Yeah, Global Platinum Sky. I'm your timekeeper, actually.
Sorry.
I would like clarification for everybody. We had the discussion earlier of passing the rules, which we have not passed yet.
Right.
Per person, so that is not applied to this.
Right.
I would just like even clarification for myself. What is our Robert's rules of per person, per speaker, per subject? Just 10 minutes.
According to Robert's rules, that is 10 minutes per person. I would note that we have not passed rules that have been distributed to folks that aren't here that address that. So.
I'm Bernice Anderson, Umatilla County, and this is really ridiculous, this whole thing. The main thing is that JC.
You have a point of order.
This is just a
Or you have
procedural thing to where there was a mistake made. I hope the chair learned a lesson. I hope we all learned a lesson. And the important
Ma'am, sorry, if I had to rule the point you're making are out of order because it's not a point of information or a point of order. But it's neither. It's not allowed from that microphone. It's not procedural. I apologize.
Okay.
To the comment.
Evan Lynn, Jackson County. I'm in favor of keeping the debate open regarding this and not tabling it today because we've already worked through a whole lot of contentious stuff regarding this, and I think it's a really quick vote once we get it out to the body. The problem is a lot of us are left behind in terms of what's being voted on. Sorry, my apologies. I'll shift this real quick. Sorry. We've already struggled through a lot of contention to get the information to our body, and if we have to go back to another meeting and do this again and fight through this again, I feel like it's just prolonging the struggle. I think we're all kind of coming to the same page here. We want to move forward and get through the meeting, but that means being heard. And I think as long as we can hear each other, we can move forward. So I think we should keep things open. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Matt Keating, Democratic National Committee person, Lane County. The gentleman actually makes an interesting point when it comes to information. The most salient point I can make is that this entire body doesn't have access to the emails that have been alluded to. If I could just read from one quote, this is from our chair, Casey Hansen.
Actually, we have a motion to table this to the next meeting.
Right. The point is that the chair said that this document provides background information on the DPO's delegate selection plan. Not everyone has this information, Mr. Chair. Not everyone has this information. This information is critical and addresses, quote, a number of questions that have been lodged in a series of emails by Larry Taylor regarding the DSP and the means by which it was created, reviewed, and approved. Mr. Chair, it is important to share the information to the entire body.
Point of order.
Order, please. I understand that you've said that not everyone has this information.
Correct.
You've made a point that is permitted, and I ask you to stop that.
I respect that, Mr. Chair. If I may continue then the 3 minutes that I'm allotted. The other point I'd like to make, secondary, is in regards to tabling an issue of censuring a chair. We as Democrats can be using our power and real and perceived influence to censure Republicans who have taken on assaults on our democracy, the Republican state senators who walked out on an education bill, the President of these United States who is attacking minorities and LGBTQ members of the community on a regular basis, Senator Ted Cruz who's advocating for Space Force when the conversation should be about this administration's attack on women's rights. If we want to win, Mr. Chair, in 2020, we should be censuring Republicans, not members of the State Central Committee of the Democratic Party of Oregon.
Point of order.
Yes. Name and county, please.
Casey Hansen, Multnomah County. I'm ready to accept the reprimand of the body. I'm willing to admit I made a mistake.
Way out of order.
Do you want to talk about how bad I am for the rest of the meeting? All right, I'm not going to argue. I'm going to make a point of order. Mr. Chair, I am willing to accept...
For the good of the order, I think it would be good for us to hear and acknowledge Casey Hansen from Multnomah.
So, the point of order, is it appropriate for me to go ahead and accept the reprimand of the body?
We haven't reprimanded you.
Is there any opposition to me requesting a vote on this? No. Is the maker of the motion to table this to the next meeting willing to withdraw that?
Donna, are you, he's asking if you're willing to withdraw your motion.
Not at this time.
Okay. So, I would like to ask the body if we are willing to entertain a vote on what Casey from Multnomah County has asked to accept the reprimand that has been proposed a little while ago. Sorry. Hold on. I'd like to actually hear from to your point, to the person who made the motion to table. All right.
So, my name's Rick Bennett from Columbia County. I just had a quick comment. Last night
It's time for this side.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. So I have not heard from the person who is. Motion to table.
But I thought it was a different person.
She made the motion to table. Sorry. My apologies. I thought it was a different person. So.
I have many besides.
All right. To that microphone, please.
I do face shifting. What I would like to say is I'm not willing to withdraw the tabling or postponement of this. I would like to have a vote taken, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to call the question, but that's what I'd like to do.
Okay. we have a request to call the question. It's not.
Point of information.
Okay, the call the question, sorry. The request to call the question must be seconded and requires that's right, 2/3 vote.
It should come from a debate mic as well.
That was my point of information, is that we've been operating as if we're calling a question must come from a debate mic.
And I do corrected that about 10 minutes ago. And
Chair,
my
I do plan to
apologies
call
for
the
that.
question from here, so we don't need to really argue about it.
Okay. Questions to be called?
No, I haven't called it yet, but I plan to. That was.
Oh, okay. Well,
As I was going to call the question as well.
Okay, just point of information, Mr. Chair.
yes.
Are you allowed to call the question on your own bill, or on your own motion? It seems to me that that would be a conflict of interest.
No, someone came up to a microphone, did that. I did not make that motion.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad.
No, you were right.
Okay. Name and county, please.
James Barber.
I never got to speak. I was overruled.
Matt Keating spoke from the pro side before.
We're
I
hearing
got to
from the
speak.
con.
Yes, Matt Keating spoke over there right before this.
If we could please speak to the chair. We did hear from the pro side, and I'm going to now recognize the con.
So, James Barber, Lane County, I just want to thank Chair Hansen. I voted for her. I appreciate her offer up here, and I would like to call the question on the motion to table so that we can get to the address.
So I've heard a question. One moment, please. And this, for a parliamentarian, this requires a 2/3 vote.
Second.
And a second's been made. All in favor of this motion, please rise. And this is the motion to call the question. My apologies. To close debate. So if you are standing, this is a closed debate. And if you are standing, you are in favor of doing this. Okay? Okay? Thank you. You may please sit down. One minute, please. All in opposed to closing debate, please rise. I see one. The ayes have it.
Yeah. All right. That hurt. It's over now.
So, now the question, all in favor to postpone the question to censor, please rise. So just majority vote, not 2/3 required.
This is to table. We're gonna table it. This is to table it.
This is the motion to table the question to censor.
If you don't table it, then you're gonna keep on debating.
If you are standing, all of those in favor of tabling this motion to the next meeting, please rise at this time. I understand, sir, but we have to move through the procedural aspects of it first.
Point of information.
Actually, we're in the middle of a vote, sir.
And just point of information, the motion was to postpone, not to table. I don't know if there's a difference between tabling and postponing, but the motion was to postpone. She made a motion to postpone. That was the words she used. I guarantee.
Next meeting. Okay? Okay, to postpone to the next meeting. That's why you're standing. You're staying in favor of that. All right? Please sit. All those opposed to postponing this to the next meeting. Okay? The nays have it. Okay, so now just so we know where we're at, we're at a place where we're now discussing the original motion in regards to whether or not to censure Chair Casey Hansen. And that's where we're at.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept.
Name and county, please.
Rebecca Camberly, Washington County. I'd like to make a motion to accept the chair's acceptance of the censure.
That will, okay, so we have a motion to accept the censure, and there.
Point of information, I think it would need to amend the current motion to be accepted.
Okay, apologize. Okay, sorry, that motion's out of order because we already have a motion.
Apparently this is supposed to be an amendment. Is this an amendment then to the motion to allow her to accept?
Actually, to get some clarification from Casey Hansen, could you approach the procedural mic and make that again? It's an amendment to the motion to censor. So just so we're all clear.
Yeah, considering we're in a new place, yeah, I accept, I accept the responsibility of censure from the body. And so, if that would preclude needing to do more debate. Is that right? I'm just asking.
People still want to debate it, and they just want to be the damn dead horse, and they want to hear themselves.
Right, that's right.
There's absolutely no reason.
One moment.
Peter Chastain, Lake County. I call the question to, on the motion to censure.
Point of order. Calling the question for the procedural mic is out of order. We've already established this. You can call it from there. I can call it from here.
I'll call it from here.
Con mic, please.
Eddie Morales, Multnomah County. I'm calling the question.
Second.
So the question's been called and we have seconds.
Second.
Thirty. The censure.
One moment, let me get the wording of the motion. Okay, so in regards to the motion to censure the chair for bullying and public intimidation for a member of the body through electronic communication.
We're moving to call the question?
Yes, we are calling a question on this. If you, in favor of that motion? Oh, it's a call, wait, to call the question on that motion? We're calling a question to end debate on the motion in regards to the censure, which I think we're probably familiar with the nature of that is right now. So this is a vote to end debate. If you are in favor of ending debate on this, please say aye. Aye. If you are opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it.
So, point of order, my amendment was to the motion, so if we're going to vote on it, it has to be the amended language, is my understanding.